Hello, hello. Today we are playing Arkham Horror, the card game, and this is, I do believe, the final part of this specific playthrough. We are playing through The Gathering as Roland Banks on easy difficulty, and where we left off, we had just encountered the Ghoul Priest. We are on our last objective, which is to defeat the Ghoul Priest. The the game has one more Doom counter to be placed on the Rise of Ghouls agenda. We have Psychosis also in our play, where if we take one or more horror, we have to take one direct damage, and it'll cost 2 actions to get rid of Psychosis. The Ghoul Priest preys on the highest person with combat, which is us. And he's a hunter, so he'll hunt us throughout the house and retaliate. So if we fail a test, then he will dish out this much damage to us, which would certainly kill us. So we cannot fail once. These are our cards: the Old Book of Lore, Dedecution, Dr. Milan Christopher. The cards we have in play is Physical Training, which is a fast action to get one for wisdom or for combat. We have the Machete in play, and we have a knife in play. We had just opened up the parlor where Lita Shantler is hiding in there, and we're stuck in the hallway. So, we also have 3 resources and a clue, and the clue does nothing for us right now. It's just kind of there. So now we will play the game. Give me a second to get myself all situated to plan out what we're going to do to take on the Ghoul Priest, who has 5 health per player, and so he's just 5 health. Okay, so what I do believe I'm going to do, because we only have 3 actions on our turn to beat the Ghoul Priest, and we cannot fail a single test once, I'm going to have to attack it all 3 times. Because if I try to run from it, I will not make it, because I have nothing card-wise that can boost up my stats for swiftness, which is only a 2, and I need a 4 for that. So if I try to run, I'm definitely going to fail. So I'm going to have to use what I have over here between the machete and the knife and physical training and just my good old-fashioned fists and try to beat back the Ghoul Priest. And so for my first action, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to a knife, and I'm going to use this bottom action, which discards knife, and we fight. We get +2 for the attack, and it deals +1 damage if we succeed. So boosting up our combat stat from 4 to 6, and all we need is a 4, we have a really good chance at actually pulling through on this. So I'm going to reach into the Beanie of Doom, shaking it all around so that I can make sure that I get something good and not the instant fail. Trying to make this video not super short here. Alright, so that's 1. That's a 0, but that's a success. That's 1 success. So we got +1 damage on here from the knife. That's going to go right on here. And then we have our damage that we did for just beating him or stabbing him, I guess, with the knife. So that's 2 damage for our first action. That's excellent. That's a really good start. Alright, for my second action, 2 out of 3. And hoping that I still do not fail, because if I fail, I lose the game. That's all there is to it. Because if I fail an attack, he will retaliate and do 2 damage and 2 horror to my person. And when I only have 5 mental stability and 3 damage on me already, he'll kill me. I'll be driven insane. And plus this guy would put more damage on me. So I'd get 2 to my 5, making it 7. And then that'd go to 8. So I'd pretty much be dead anyways. Driven insane and dead. The 2 worst fates for this game. Okay, so second action, I'm going to come here and do the machete. and I'm going to exhaust it, and it'll give me +1 to combat. And if the enemy that I'm attacking is the only enemy engaged with me, this attack will deal +1 damage. And he is. So I'm going to tap it, exhaust it. So my stat is gone from a 4 to a 5. And reaching into the glorious Beanie of Doom and trying not to get a -2 or anything that would mess me up. Just reaching into here and pulling out an instant fail. How about that? How about that? That really sucks. Oh, great. Okay, so here's what happens. So because we failed attacking the Ghoul Priest, he retaliates against us, dealing 2 physical damage and 2 horror to us. So we put the 2 horror onto Roland Banks. He's now definitely driven insane because he's reached his maximum of 5. And because of psychosis, if we take 1 or more horror, we also take 1 direct damage. So that's 3 on top of what we have here. So we have 8 out of 9 damage. So we are almost dead. We're driven insane. We can't complete the game anymore. And super anticlimactic from what I was really hoping that we could do. That you can't win them all. Even on easy difficulty, things just doesn't really go your way. You can try your best. If I tried to draw a card from here, he would have had an attack of opportunity, which he would attack me for 2 damage, 2 horror. If I did anything besides engaging with an enemy, attacking an enemy, trying to evade an enemy, or what is called parley, which is this action here, which would allow me to gain control of Lita Shantler here. If I did anything besides those 4, I would have gotten attacked. And kind of what happened, I guess this is karma, because I didn't realize it until after I had was editing my video of the last part, that I had cheated accidentally. So my bad. This is karma for all of that. But let's just see for this sake here, what would have happened if I would have just drawn a couple of cards to see what would have given me. First aid would have been helpful to heal some damage from me. I would have gotten 3 uses out of it, and it would have healed either 1 damage or 1 horror from me, which would have been very helpful. Another one would have been the Research Librarian, and this would have been absolutely useless to me. Actually, it had swiftness, but that's about it. And then Guard Dog. Guard Dog would have been very good to have, very good ally. So if an enemy deals damage to a Guard Dog, which if I took any damage here, I could have shifted my damage onto my dog. He would have dealt 1 damage back to the Ghoul Priest, but luck did not favor me in this game. So this is a very super short video, but yeah, the Ghoul Priest won out, and Roland Banks is dead. So let's read the closer, because we do get an ending, even though we did not succeed in beating this scenario. Let's get to that. Okay, so we have multiple endings for each scenario, and for the Gathering there are like 3 or 4 different endings that you could get depending on what happens, and it's super cool. So the one we're going to read is the one where no resolution was reached. Each investigator either quit the game or was defeated, being driven insane or killed. So Roland Banks, let's flip you to the black and white side to show that you were driven insane. R.I.P. man, R.I.P. All right. You barely managed to escape the excuse me. You barely managed to escape your house with your lives, which is true. I mean, we had 8 damage out of 9. The woman from your parlor follows you out the front door, slamming it behind her. You fools, see what you have done?
She pushes a chair in front of the door, lodging it beneath the doorknob. We must get out of here. Come with me, and I will tell you what I know. We are the only ones who can stop the threat that lurks beneath from being unleashed throughout the city. You're in no state to argue. Nodding, you follow the woman as she runs from your porch out into the rainy street toward Rivertown.
Okay, so based off of this ending, we barely survived, just completely driven insane, but barely surviving. And so that's the end of our standalone scenario. If we were playing the campaign, we would have followed these instructions here, saying that our house is still standing, the ghoul priest is still alive, lead investigator earns the Lita Shantler card and may include her into his or her deck, and it doesn't count towards your deck size. And then each investigator gets experience towards the number of victory points that you had, how many clues you had completely cleared out of a certain area, whether or not you killed certain enemies. You'd get victory points, and that would count as experience, and then you can build your deck from there. And then you'd move on to the next scenario, the Midnight Masks. But yeah, but as a standalone, we had failed that one. So I'm sorry that happened. I wish it would have been this great victorious thing, but thus is life. Roland Banks, cool dude, fun game to play. Definitely please anybody who is interested in this game, go to the link in the description. It's Fantasy Flight Games. They make Arkham Horror the card game. They also make Marvel Champions, a card, which is also a card game that's very similar to this. They are great games. Absolutely love them to death. And I will definitely be uploading more of these and hopefully doing much better than just failing on all of these. So give Fantasy Flight some love and show them that people are interested in games like this. All right. That is all for me. All right. Bye-bye.